Greene, the acclaimed Canadian Indigenous actor, has passed away at the age of 73 after a long illness. His death marks the end of a remarkable life and career that spanned nearly 5 decades and left an unforgettable mark on film, television, and Indigenous representation in the arts. Greene was known worldwide for his Oscar-nominated role as Kicking Bird in Dances with Wolves, a performance that brought him international acclaim and set a new standard for how Indigenous characters could be portrayed on screen. His passing is being mourned not only in Hollywood but across Canada and Indigenous communities everywhere. He is remembered as a trailblazer, a storyteller, and a voice of authenticity whose contributions went far beyond entertainment. Greene was born on June 22, 1952, in Oswego, Ontario, on the Six Nations Reserve. He was an Oneida man, deeply connected to his heritage and his community. Before stepping into the world of acting, Greene lived a life that was reflective of the resilience and determination common to many in rural Canada. He worked as a draftsman, a steelworker, and a welder, taking on physically demanding jobs that required endurance and strength. These early experiences shaped him, grounding him in a reality that he later carried into his acting roles with authenticity. Greene also spent time as an audio technician for Canadian rock bands, working behind the scenes before discovering that his true calling was in front of audiences. His transition to acting began at Native Earth Performing Arts, an important stage for Indigenous artists, where he first explored the power of storytelling and performance. By the late 1970s and 1980s, Greene was building a career in Canadian television and film, but his breakthrough came in 1990 with Dances with Wolves. In the film, directed by Kevin Costner, Greene portrayed Kicking Bird, a Sioux medicine man whose intelligence, empathy, and strength captured the hearts of viewers around the world. His performance was met with critical acclaim, earning him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. It was a historic moment, not just for Greene himself, but for Indigenous actors more broadly, who had long been underrepresented or misrepresented in Hollywood. Kevin Costner later paid tribute to Greene, recalling how committed he was to authenticity, including his willingness to learn and speak the Lakota language for the film. That dedication translated into a performance that continues to be celebrated decades later. While Dances with Wolves was his breakout role, Greene never allowed himself to be confined to one type of character. His career demonstrated extraordinary versatility. He went on to appear in films such as Thunderheart, where he played an FBI agent, Maverick alongside Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster, and Die Hard with a Vengeance with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. He delivered a memorable performance in The Green Mile, one of the most acclaimed films of the 1990s. Audiences also remember him from the Twilight Saga, New Moon, where he brought intensity to a brief but impactful role. Greene also found success on television. Canadian children of the 1990s fondly remember him from The Adventures of Dudley the Dragon, where he voiced Mr. Ray Krabby Tree. His warm yet witty delivery made him a favorite among young viewers. He also hosted Exhibit A, Secrets of Forensic Science, a Canadian true crime series where his distinctive voice added authority and gravity to each episode. In more recent years, Greene appeared in Longmire, and he brought humor and wisdom to his role in Reservation Dogs, a series celebrated for its Indigenous storytelling and cast. His cameo in The Last of Us in 2023 reminded audiences of his enduring screen presence. No matter the size of the role, Greene had the ability to command attention. He had a gift for embodying characters with sincerity, empathy, and humor. His presence brought authenticity to Indigenous roles that had too often been flattened into stereotypes. Greene's acting style reflected his belief in portraying human beings rather than symbols. His characters were multidimensional, often showing strength, vulnerability, and humor in ways that resonated deeply with audiences. Greene's professional success was matched by personal challenges that he spoke about with honesty. In 1997, after a serious health episode, he openly discussed his struggles with alcoholism and depression. Instead of hiding these difficulties, he addressed them publicly, offering a perspective that was rare in the entertainment industry. He once said in an interview, "I dove into that well just to see how far I could go. I came out of it, not totally destroyed, but I think as a better performer, a better person with tolerance." His candor inspired many, particularly within indigenous communities where these issues are prevalent but often stigmatized. His ability to turn his struggles into growth showed a strength of character that went far beyond the screen. Throughout his career, Greene received numerous honors in recognition of his impact. In addition to his Academy Award nomination, he was made a member of the Order of Canada, one of the nation's highest civilian honors. In June 2025, only months before his passing, he received the Governor General's Performing Arts Award for Lifetime Artistic Achievement, the country's highest honor in the performing arts. The award ceremony in Ottawa was a moment of acknowledgement for a man whose career had helped shape not only Canadian cinema, but also the global understanding of Indigenous representation in film. The tributes that have poured in since his passing reflect the wide respect and admiration Greene earned. Kevin Costner remembered his friend and co-star with admiration for the dedication he brought to Dances with Wolves. Actor Gil Birmingham described Greene as a man of incredible talent whose work had a profound impact on Native representation in Hollywood. Canada's Governor General, Mary Simon, praised him for breaking barriers and setting an example for Indigenous actors who followed. Organizations such as Inspire honored his life and career, calling attention to the way he embodied the presence of Indigenous voices on both stage and screen. Greene's legacy extends far beyond the awards and tributes. He was a trailblazer who opened doors for Indigenous actors at a time when opportunities were limited and roles were often stereotypical. He showed that Indigenous characters could be portrayed with complexity, humor, dignity, and humanity. His performances in films like Clear Cut and Skins demonstrated his fearless approach to challenging material. In Clear Cut, he played an activist who takes drastic measures in defense of his community, while in Skins, he embodied the struggles of a Vietnam veteran battling addiction. These roles were not easy, but they were necessary, and Greene delivered them with authenticity and depth. For Indigenous storytellers and actors today, Greene's career stands as proof that their voices and perspectives belong on screen. His influence can be seen in the increasing number of Indigenous-led films and series that continue to emerge. While representation in Hollywood still has a long way to go, Graham Greene was one of the figures who made that progress possible. The sadness of his passing comes with an acknowledgement of how much he gave to audiences throughout his life. He was more than just an actor. He was a cultural figure who carried his heritage proudly into every role. He was an advocate through his work, even without speeches, simply by being present in roles that shifted public perception. His long hair, his grin, and his distinctive voice became trademarks. But it was the depth and truth behind them that made his work unforgettable. In remembering Graham Greene, we also reflect on the importance of celebrating Canadian and Indigenous contributions to cinema. Too often, Canadian actors and filmmakers are overshadowed by Hollywood. But Greene's career stands as a reminder of the richness and talent that exist beyond borders. His story is now part of the cultural fabric of not only Canada, but the entire world of film. Graham Greene's journey from the Six Nations Reserve to Hollywood's global stage is one of resilience, talent, and authenticity. His body of work continues to inspire, and his life continues to teach. As we honor him today, we recognize that his spirit lives on in the stories he told, the people he influenced, and the changes he helped bring to an industry that needed his voice. Though Graham Greene is no longer with us, his legacy endures. His performances remain alive in the films and series that continue to be watched and studied. His influence remains visible in the opportunities available to Indigenous actors today. His honesty about his struggles remains an example of strength through vulnerability. For fans, colleagues, and communities, Graham Greene will always be remembered not only as a remarkable actor, but as a man who made a difference. Born in 1952 and passing in 2025, Graham Greene gave more than 70 years of life and over 40 years of artistry to the world. His death leaves a gap that cannot be filled, but his legacy ensures that his presence will never fade. Graham Greene's life and career will continue to inspire future generations, and his story will remain a chapter in the history of cinema that cannot be forgotten.